First up is our executive producer, Jeremy Carver, back on the show. Next, we have Mark A. Shepard. You might have heard of this next guy, Jensen Ackles. Another newcomer you might want to keep an eye out for, Jared Padalecki. Another one I think you guys are kind of fond of, Misha Collins.
Louder but shorter.
And because dead is never really dead on Supernatural, Jim Beaver. And last but definitely not least, consulting producer Ben Edlund.
Yeah. Purgatory eyes in the woods.
It does.
All right. First up, Jeremy, welcome back to the Supernatural fold.
Thank you.
You've had some time making Being Human for Sci-Fi. Great show there.
Thank you.
So what's it like? What's it like being back in Supernatural world?
It's wonderful. It's sort of like having been a camper and coming back as a counselor. So it's great. It's a lot of fun.
Like a true writer.
And so picking up with what we just saw and where the last season ended, Jensen, when we last saw you, Dean was in purgatory. So
Yeah, which actually, Misha just pointed out, feels like right now with all the red lights. If you turn around, it's just nothing but red lights out there. I'm like, wow, I'm still there. Yes, purgatory.
So Dean's gotten out of hell before, so purgatory can't be that hard.
Oh, yeah, I mean, come on, that's, it's like, it's like diet hell.
Hell zero.
Yeah, hell zero.
I'm going to take the time. Guys, thank y'all for waiting out there to come see us. Thank you. It's pretty awesome. It's really amazing. Really, really, really amazing. I mean, we saw the line out there, and I know a lot of people didn't get in, so thank you guys so much for being here, being a part of this. Forgive our indiscretions.
Thanks.
How many people are out there? How many of you are there?
At least 10.
Oh my God. That's insane.
Wait, keep those house lights up. Jared's going to tweet pictures.
Okay, count off.
That's incredible, people.
Hi. Amazing. That's amazing. That's like a whole nother room back there. I didn't see. It got dark, and then
it's very.
Hi.
You know what's amazing also is that we can't see their faces, which means they can't see ours either unless they.
No, we got.
It's not that big a loss.
Jeremy, Ben, talk about the challenges of bringing new characters into the fold who are going to get close to each of the brothers and how that challenge, especially with such a passionate and devoted fan base out there.
Well, I think the strength of the show is the bond between these two brothers, and ultimately, despite everything that's gone on in the past, they're at the core their humanity, and I think they are just as open to new relationships and new beginnings and endings as anyone else in the world. And I think, in all seriousness, about the beginning of this season, we're going to see that when they were separated at the end of last season, it had a profound effect on each of them, and each, obviously, as is hinted at, has gone a very separate way that they will each carry with them what happened essentially in their summer away from each other. It's more than a summer. And the relationships that they've made in their time off from each other will carry forward and will be very, very important in each one of their lives. And they're going to have to come to terms like any partnership with dealing with the new relationship in each other's life. So.
Okay.
And they're kind of emotional shut-ins that have to learn how to deal with other people. I mean, like they spend a lot of time in that car together with just like crumpled up snacks and stuff. I mean, this is a way of looking out to the outside world and connecting with, I mean, in a way, we get to play with maybe another thing to play with that we haven't always, I mean, it's a show that relationships are hard to chart, so we're actually trying to get into, I think, more complex and more like real human relationships. We'll see how it goes. Good luck to all of us, but it's a good try.
Yeah,
I'm try.
Sam and Dean in real human relationships. Good luck, guys.
No, it's going to be great. And with machetes also. Machetes and a chainsaw.
Misha.
Yes.
There was no question. I just wanted to hear that.
Thank you. Was that the
Just
question?
make sure that's your name.
Castiel bolted on Dean at the end of the season. So what's going on there? What can we expect? Where's he gone, and when will we see him again?
Don't look at me.
I'm looking for visual cues
I
here.
was just staring at his face.
He went out for beer, and he'll be back shortly. I think we're. This is very difficult. The format is very difficult because you ask questions about things we're not allowed to talk about, and then we try to not talk about it to you for 45 minutes, and then everybody goes home unsatisfied.
I have a lot of camp stories that are really, really revealing and uncomfortable that I could get into. I mean, from my own personal life.
That might be nice. Yes, let's hear some of the weird, sort of damaging childhood stories from.
I think
Ben.
that's more, yeah.
I'm interested in that.
So, but I guess we're gonna explore it, explore what happened in Purgatory in flashbacks.
Jeremy already said that. When does Castiel come back? You misunderstood the question.
Oh,
There's the bus.
I feel really uncomfortable right now. I don't know what to do.
Okay.
You're great. It's a really easy question. Just answer the question.
What's happening?
Why do they do this to us?
When does he come back? You can't answer the question with another question, Misha.
Oh, man.
Jim?
I plead the fifth.
Yes.
Does
Crowley.
Castiel come back?
Well, funny you should
Do
ask.
Castiel and Bobby come back, Mark?
I don't know. Anything's possible. I'm just waiting for season 8 to be renamed Oh Crowley. As it should be.
Sure.
So Crowley finally got his hands on Kevin in the season 7 finale.
Could you please rephrase that?
Crowley finally took Kevin hostage
This is not going very well, guys.
at the end of season 7.
Yeah.
What's next? What's his plan? Well, you know, I know anything is possible, but
What's next? What's his plan?
what's he going to do with Kevin?
He's going to truss him up in a corset.
It's a leading question. Look, Crowley is essentially what
Rephrase that
happens.
one, Mark.
Crowley is essentially what happens when people aren't paying attention. That's pretty much
That's
what
true.
Crowley is. I don't know. I mean, I think the relationship that the boys have had with Crowley is, you know, I think it's been a rather good one. It's been fruitful and kind and compassionate.
It's been reciprocal, I think.
Yeah, pretty reciprocal, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I gave him stuff and then I got stuff.
Yeah, certainly so.
Whoa, can you rephrase that, please?
But I think we might be in a situation this year, I think I'm right to say that we might be in a situation in this year where we're kind of chasing after the same thing. So
Yes.
this could be a bit of a problem.
This would be a season where you guys end up, because it's remarkable how many times they've fallen into non-antagonistic relationships with the King of Hell. It's, you know, it's cleverness on the part of the writers, I like to think. But this is a situation where they're really going to come to a much more antagonistic kind of front with each other. I mean, Crowley has to shore up his camp, and he is actually the one who thinks ahead more than any other character in the universe. I don't think the Angels even really handled it as well as he's done. So he is going to be an issue, probably quite a titanic one. I don't know.
Like I said, Crowley, basically.
What just happened?
I had a sentence, and then I just started to hear myself talk, and then I was just like, and then I saw the top of my head.
It's just stream of consciousness.
Okay.
So did that answer your question?
Good enough.
Okay.
What? That wasn't good enough? Wait a minute. Oh, I hear you now. Go on.
You really are kind of a character on this show, aren't you?
I get no screen time.
I get no screen time.
Jeremy and Ben, we hear one of the theme, if for lack of a better words, for this season is Raiders of the Lost Ark. So tell us a little bit more about what that is. What does that mean for the show?
Crowley, Kevin, Dean, Sam, they're all involved in a chase for a power source, ultimately. We won't be clear about it, but this season, like all others, will introduce a game-changing element that we've already seen hints of. But we have a roller coaster, and we're going to get you on it. It's strange to try and unpack a roller coaster at the beginning of the roller coaster. That's why they have the part that goes up, so you can go down.
There it is. Ben Edlund.
But it's a roller coaster. It's got wheels and tracks and all that.
Alrighty. Why don't we open it up to fan questions now? Just
Maybe we'd do better if we let the fans answer.
Yeah.
So just say your name.
Hi, my name's Francis. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hi, Francis.
My question is for the producers, writers, and I was wondering if the show is ever going to address the fact that as brothers, Sam and Dean look nothing alike.
That's pretty cool.
Ben, you were cooking up an episode about just that, weren't you?
What's that? That was going to deal with that? It's got a whole Inuit storyline. Inuit? No.
Here's the thing. If I were to grow my hair this long, you couldn't tell us apart.
That's right. That's how it came to the
On
audition.
air.
That's why it all worked out. You had the hair like that.
That's it.
Precisely.
See, and this is what you're left with. I apologize, but it's. Stop it.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. I was wondering if, in the event of an apocalypse, zombie, Croatoan, or otherwise, who would die first? Who would you team up with, and who would survive?
This is like that game where it's like marry, kill.
Right.
Choose your words wisely.
Those are the only words I have.
There's a sign that says right here, there may be audience members under the age of 18.
There is that sign. I didn't. I'll go
I
back.
don't care.
Who cares?
What? it's like Jerry Springer now. Just yelling stuff out. Would anybody like to take that one?
No.
No.
Nope.
No.
No.
We've had apocalypses. Apocalypse-I? How do you pluralize apocalypse?
Apocalypse.
Can you apocalypse? We've already had several apocalypse.
It's true.
Doesn't sound right.
And only
I'm fairly
Jim
certain
died.
that one of the three humans would die first.
Right.
Jim would die first, and then he would be resurrected within 30 seconds.
Because anything is possible.
That's why I'm wearing the red shirt.
Hold on, I'm pretty sure that there is no such thing as a plural of apocalypse. I mean, the very idea of an apocalypse is that there's only one.
Apocalypse.
I mean, it's a singular bloody event, isn't it?
It's one event.
It's a single event. You can't have plurals of apocalypse.
Then what's an apocalypse? Answer a simple question. What is an apocalypse?
It's a creature on Doctor Who.
How many creatures?
Oops.
Okay, next question.
Well done.
Hi.
How would you pluralize apocalypse?
Apocalyptic pie?
That's pretty good.
That's 8 apocalypses together.
Almost perfect.
Oh.
That's 8 apocalypses.
Mixed
That's
with
apocalypse.
hippopotamuses, yeah.
My name is JC. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, JC.
Hi. I just wanted to say, first of all, Jensen, you're the reason I'm pursuing acting, so thank you.
She's like, if they can get jobs, I can do this. You definitely don't have to be that talented to be a professional actor. This is refreshing news.
That's really mean of you to say, JC. That's really mean to suggest. Aw. I'm just teasing.
Okay. My question is, if your character could have a superhero or villain name, what would it be?
Superhero names, anybody?
Apocalyptic guy.
Apocalyptic guy?
Winchester.
Apocalyptic guy?
Yeah.
Captain Thunderpants?
Captain.
Captain Thunderpants.
Nice.
Jeremy?
I think at one point, one character
Too
called
many to
you.
choose from? It's too many rattling up in here,
Yeah,
I gotta be honest with you.
Trying to think of clean one.
Ben, I really want to hear
There
yours.
was one point.
You know,
No, I'm gonna. Where you were, one episode you were called Chisel Chest, and I think that works pretty well.
Chisel chest.
Yeah.
That's right. That was the Ghostfacers. I'll take that. Dang, Ben. Thank you. I thought Jeremy was the one who always took my shirt off, but I guess Ben is too.
Moose Man?
I would be but.
That's like, but I have other qualities. Yeah.
His butt come a butt. Thank you, JC.
Go ahead.
I'm Diana.
Hi, Diana.
And
Do you have to go to the bathroom?
She does now.
She's been waiting for 5 hours in that line.
okay. What is something you've learned from your first experience to Jensen? Directing an episode that you've brought into directing your second and currently third episodes.
It's probably more of a technical thing than it would be a creative thing, but directing the first time, it was kind of trial and error. This is going to be boring, but pace of a scene is very important. Thanks to the man to my right. I got to explain. Because Mark has has that wonderful voice and the wonderful performance that he does. I could sit there. I was just kind of watching it as an audience member, forgetting that the scene was now taking 9 minutes, as he just rattles through his dialogue.
Oh.
And no,
Get out of here.
it's a compliment, man.
All right.
I was so enthralled with your performance that I
You memorized really well.
I forgot that. Yeah. It was, so anyway.
Backpedal.
So you notice the pace he's going at right now? You want him to speed it up.
See, I've lost half the audience. We don't want to do that with the show. We want to keep you guys. So pace is one thing, and just understanding lenses and what they do and how they can direct focus and things like that is helpful. So I'm actually in the midst of directing my third one right now. Losing them, I don't mind. But I'm directing my third one right now, and I'm trying to cut as much of his stuff as I possibly can, which is fine because I get a director's cut. So yeah, it's probably more technical stuff. It's directing TV is very difficult though. You have a schedule, you got time limits, you've got budget limits. It's
Unlike a panel.
As Ben can tell you, as Ben can tell you, he's directed.
True
and,
enough.
It's a challenge.
Oh, it's a terrible challenge. Yeah, no, for sure. I found that what I started to learn increased, like, all I found out from the first to the second experience of directing was I was better able to figure out what I didn't know and how, like, behind the curve of the math that happens on a set. It's a tough thing.
It's scary when you get on set and there's 60, 70 people just staring at you going, okay, what now?
Oh, and then it creates this signal in your head. You go flatline from conscious thought to
Don't say flatline.
Oh, you're past the flatline, man. Don't worry about that.
Thank you. Yeah.
What can you tell us about the episode? Like, what kind of an episode is it? If you don't want to give
When
away
does
the
Castiel
plots?
come back?
Yeah.
Is
Anything
Bobby
can
still
happen.
alive?
The episode that we're shooting right now, it's kind of a one-off. It's which I love. I love the one-offs where the guys they catch wind of something, they go after it, they kill the bad guy and save the family kind of thing. So it's one of those, and it's a good one.
It's heavy on blood, right? Isn't there? It's pretty
bloody.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty bloody.
Yeah. So look for that.
Next question.
This question.
Oh, hi.
Nice shirt.
This question is for everyone, including Jim, whose character may or may not return.
Anything's possible.
Everything's possible.
Anything's possible.
Is there a characteristic or aspect of your character which has not been addressed yet that you would like to see brought toward the foreground? Or would you like to amplify a characteristic like we did last season with Dean's drinking problem? And side note, thank you for all the charity work you've done.
I'd like to finish up with Sheriff Rhodes.
I think there have been too many aspects of Sam. I'd like to just go back to normal sitting on a bar stool Sam or something. I think, I mean, I'll answer this because I have a feeling, but I don't think there's been a lot that has not been explored in Sam, and I think that makes it interesting, in my opinion, for season 8, because like Jeremy was talking about, the beginning of all the seasons, other than season 1, we've been responding almost directly to what happened the prior season finale. So what I think is neat is that we've seen these characters through 149 episodes after 7 seasons grow and change and evolve. Thank you guys. But now we get to see, it's like the characters have grown up in front of you, and now we get to see who the characters want to be. Dean's gone off to purgatory. Sam's been without Dean, without Bobby, without Cass. This guy took Kevin in his hands and took off. So point being, now all the fat is stripped away, and it's like, who am I? So we get to see what Sam and Dean are going to do. I don't know, for my character, I'm excited to probably re-explore some of the stuff that's already been explored at this new point in Sam's life. The end.
And scene.
I think that there's enough, because all of the characters have been through so many journeys now on Supernatural. We're, I think, all kind of damaged and worldly.
Speak for yourself.
I'm damaged. So is the character that I play on Supernatural. But it is actually kind of, I mean, it's this kind of what you're saying, I think. It's like there's actually a ton to mine right there, just responding to an ordinary circumstance now. The character has been through so much that, I don't know what I'm saying. But I'm
When does
talking
Castiel
anyway.
come back?
We need to explore my loveliness.
Oh, yeah.
I think.
Aggles?
What?
Someone loves you, Mark.
What happened?
You want it?
No.
Okay.
Thank you very much, whoever he's.
Next.
Hi, my name is Fiorella. Sort of reiterating of what you said before about your characters going through different changes and phases. Was there anything if you had the power, would you alter your character's storyline, or do you have a certain preference on how you would end it?
Who was that to?
Right, that was to Jensen, Jared, Misha.
Everyone
Jim.
up
Yeah,
here.
pretty much. Yeah, sorry.
There is a shorter way to say that. Yes.
Anybody? I was always kind of envious of when Sam drank the demon blood and had his kind of, the mind power that he possessed with that was kind of always
cool arc.
It was a really cool arc, and I remember reading those scripts and going, I really wish Dean had a superpower that he could utilize, but I didn't envy the bleeding from the nose thing, because that was
terrible.
I'd sit there and watch. They would shove a sponge up into Jared's nostril,
full of blood,
soaked with blood, and
fake blood. Yeah.
It would, and it would, just disgusting.
Yeah.
Some of the things we do.
That wasn't fun, but it was fun to play Demon Blood Sam. It was fun to have.
To just be able to, to have that power, I don't know. I think that'd be cool to have. But we can't, we got to keep these guys human, because otherwise, if we start matching powers with, the other people around us, then it just, I don't know, kind of loses the humanity of it all.
Thank you.
Next question.
Hi guys, my name's Peasy. I'm from Singapore,
Hi.
and I'm a huge fan. And Misha, thank you for giving us that morning run. We chased after you like crazy.
We're running after him.
Last night, I ran into somebody who said that if he didn't have to catch a plane this morning, he was planning to sneak in here and ask a question, and that was Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Yeah, he had to take off.
But he had to catch a plane, so he blew you off.
Oh, no, he didn't.
Next question, please.
Hi.
Hi.
This is really weird. I just wanted to say first that I really love the show, and I love all of you. And thank you for making something so amazing. But my question is for Jensen and Misha. And I was wondering what you guys thought of the whole Destiel relationship that a lot of the fans support.
I'm not familiar with that. Can I poll the audience? What is it? Was it Death Steal? Is that what?
Have you not heard of that?
I have not heard of this.
You
Is
don't
this
wanna
something
hear
that you
that.
created, Ben?
You don't want any part of that.
I don't want any part of that.
It's sort of extreme bromance.
It's a fan fiction. A fan fiction. There's a lot of images from it too.
Oh,
there's a haunting number of pictures of maybe, let's say, Dean in an angelic embrace. And that's being kind of gentle with it, isn't it? There's. So
that.
Field
That's
that
great.
question.
That's great. Love that. I mean, you've got pictures like that of us in embrace all over your bedroom. I know that
All
for a
over.
fact. Yeah.
They have a van with that airbrushed on the side. It's just a strange splinter of fiction.
Yeah, my conversion van just has his face on it. It's just a nice airbrush, and then there's an eagle on the other side. I ran out of room.
And a wolf.
And a wolf howling at the moon. It's cool. You'd like it.
Okay, we have time for about 2 more questions.
It's good to change up, I think.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
So my question is for the actors concerning things you guys do on set. Is there any time you guys ever got tired of being strangled or other things?
Yes.
Like
Yes.
annoying things on set, basically.
He shakes me. He picks me up and he shakes me for 2 minutes at a time.
And this is off camera.
That's off camera.
He just picks me up and shakes me at will.
I will say that I greatly disliked doing the stuck up against the wall number, and we haven't done it in a long time. Because you just feel, because you're not stuck up against the wall, so you're like, I can't move, and you feel so bizarre. But luckily, we've been mostly tied up lately. Like if
You were fishing for that one.
no, when a bad guy.
So bad.
When there's a bad guy. No, when there's like a
When
mean
two bad guys
villain.
really like each other.
Are you rethinking?
They don't make us stand up against the wall like we're stuck, which is a lot better. Thank you in advance for the upcoming season of not let the bad guys tie us up.
Yes, it gets very tiring sitting there trying to act like you're being forced against a wall and you're... Because when they yell cut, you feel like you want to pass out. So
like
yeah,
yoga.
it does get tiring. The blood, although we haven't had a lot of blood over the past year or two. I think they got the message, all the complaining that we did, especially after, what was it, season 3?
Blood face.
The end of season 3 with the Hellhounds.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, when your wardrobe shows up and it is plumbed, it has plumbing,
Yeah.
it's not going to be a good day. It's just not going to be a good day. And then you see the guys with 5-gallon buckets full of red liquid
to refresh it,
and then hook the hose that is hooked to your wardrobe into that bucket. It's not fun. Just isn't, because then it's corn syrup essentially.
It's going to be a bad day.
It's going to be a bad day, especially when it hardens and you have to wear it for 7 hours. All right, I'm done complaining.
Thank you.
Next question.
Hi. It's weird, like usual. I love the show so much. Thank you for making it. I wanted to say, you guys are so great at acting. You guys don't receive nearly enough recognition.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My question is, will season 8 focus heavily on mythology like 4 and 5, and will we finally be formally introduced to God?
Good question, writers.
Wow. It's the God question, Jeremy. We talked about... No, we didn't talk about this. Go ahead.
They're panicking.
Did you just throw it to me, Ben?
Yeah.
Do you want me to take it? It's a very unstable situation over here at the end of the table. I could begin to speak, but I'm not sure where that's going to go. Would you like to start it, and then I could condition what you say?
I'm gonna take a run at it, buddy. Thank you. This season will actually, I think we're gonna pull back a little bit from the heavy mythology. It's always there and it's always expanding, but we're gonna give a chance for our brothers to come out a little bit from I feel like after 7 seasons there was a real crushing amount of mythology, which was all wonderful, but we're opening it up a little bit more to new areas, and there will be one overarching mythology, which hopefully will carry on for many more years, is what we're establishing. So, yeah.
Good. Well, that's all the time we have for questions, but there is a surprise or a treat for you guys that we're going to show now. Just a reminder, the show moves to Wednesday nights this fall, premieres Wednesday, October 3rd, 9 o'clock, 8 Central, so on the CW.
Real quick, just speaking of Wednesday nights, that's because of you guys. Most shows go to Friday nights to die.
Right. That's true. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Supernatural.
So am I, actually, and I might not be down here completely, so go easy. Yeah, we filmed until 4:30 a.m. yesterday. Oh, wow. And I caught the 8 a.m. flight, so there was no sleep. Yeah, well, you can razz the Ben and Jeremy when they get here. Tell them not to write exterior night during the summertime when there's only 6 hours of night in Vancouver and the sun doesn't go down until about 10:45 and then comes up at 4 a.m. So when they shoot exterior night, it's you know you're going to be in for a long night. So that's where I was. So I haven't had any sleep.
Third time in the director's chair.
Third time.
Is it getting easier?
No. Not in the least. This one's actually a little bit more difficult. The past two that I've done, they wrote me very light. They wrote Dean very light in the episode so that I could be just a director. They decided not to do that this year and to just write me in every scene. So it's a little bit more difficult, kind of, you know, taking the actor hat off and putting director and then doing this, and, you know, because it's two completely different mindsets. It was interesting when I had to do it last year. I realized how clear my mind is as an actor going on to set. And I never really realized that. But when I come on set, I don't think about, I can be just kind of free to be creative, which is a lot of times when you get, you know, gag reel stuff, or you get, you get the improvisation stuff, you get the ad-libs, because your mind's clear, you can just be that character. And, you know the lines, so those kind of come with the territory, but, and then as a director, you cannot clear your mind. I mean, you have so many things. I mean, the way I kind of put it is, as an actor, you're only responsible really for one link in the chain. As a director, you need to have answers for every link in that chain. And so it's pretty tough. It's pretty tough to kind of have all of those things in my head and then just throw them all out when my assistant director yells action, and then when he yells cut, go back into thinking about, okay, I want this person to, you know, liven it up a bit. I want this camera to go tighter. I want, you know, let's bring in this, you know, I want to cross in from the right side instead of the left side. And meanwhile, I'm like, okay, what am I saying? What's happening? So, in fact, my assistant director said that the first couple of days, he said it took me a couple of takes to get into Dean. He said it took a couple of takes for you to get rid of Jensen, the director, and get into Dean. I'm like, that makes sense. So it's challenging.
So what made you want to direct, and how many episodes will you direct this season?
What made me want to direct is the fact that they let me direct. I'm like, wait, you're going to let me do? Okay, I'll do it. Let's do this. The challenge of it too. I really like, you know, like I was saying, you know, as an actor, when you're doing, this is the 150th episode, to play the same character. Granted, the character gets, you know, he's been all over the map as far as, you know, his motivations and his storylines and stuff. But to, you know, it's a rhythm that Jared and I get into when we get on set. You know, we can fall right into those characters and bang out those scenes, and it's, you know, it's something that it's become very natural for us to do. Directing is not natural for me. It's new. I feel like I'm struggling, and I'm grabbing at things, and I'm in my head a lot. So it's, I think shaking it up and challenging myself is something that I'm always trying to do. And this was a really good opportunity to do so. And the fact that they let me and entrusted me with several $1 million to produce an episode of television, I couldn't say no.
Which scene do you think was harder to film? Because he basically had two goodbyes.
Yeah.
Which one was harder, more emotional?
Very much the first one in Death's Door, emotionally, because that was more. I mean, that was a real kind of. When we were shooting the burning the blast scene, the thing that was foremost in our minds was not catching fire, because that was a real bullet forge. They cut the dialogue that explained what that was we were burning it on, although you can hear it in that gag reel. But that was so hot, and I was further away than the other two guys, and they were about to catch fire. So there wasn't any emotion at all going on there. We were just trying not to burn to death. So.
First question, the big question everybody wants to know, how involved are you going to be in Supernatural this upcoming season? Episode counts preferable.
I think we know how the first few episodes are playing out in terms of casting with us, but I don't think that. I think that I'm going to go ahead and speak for all of us. And
You
say
can
that
if you
we
want to.
don't. I don't think any of us have a lock on exactly how many episodes we're going to be doing this season. So that was a non-spoiler and a boring answer to your question. How'd you like that?
Thank you.
I would have lied a lot better than that. I
Yeah.
mean, if you'd have let me do that one, I would have.
Almost
literally-
anybody could have.
Jim, Bobby didn't end in the best place.
Well, for me, he did.
And Ghost did.
What is he coming back as? Who are you coming back as?
You know, it's Supernatural, so there's a presumption of probably, possibly, conceivably returning from the dead. It has happened once or twice on the show.
yeah.
And I'm just, God, waiting for the phone call.
It's a sore subject with them.
I'm sorry.
No, it's not that sore. They disregarded my feelings to the point where I have very few left now. So,
Misha, one question the fans
Yes.
have is they want to know if the Dean Cass bromance can be repaired.
I think that yes, it can. The Dean Cass bromance can be repaired. I think that they need therapy, but I think that they will get over the hump.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm going to go ahead and say that I think that will happen. I'm not sure, but I that's my instinct.
The show is off Friday night this season, and now you're in midweek. Is that exciting? You know, a lot of people feel like Friday is sort of like a death slot, and shows get forgotten there. But you went there, and now you're coming back.
That's sort of only partly true. I mean, for genre shows, they a lot of them can actually do well for some reason on Friday nights, but it's obviously great for Supernatural to be midweek. It's exciting because we're gonna. I mean, I think the show will definitely have more viewers on a Wednesday than on a Friday.
Yeah.
And if you are looking for more viewers, that's a good thing.
You know, these two brothers have spent not only have spent time apart, but it's what they were doing. Whereas Dean was in this, concentrated war zone, and Sam was literally just the opposite. So it really, these two brothers have really been living two different lives for the past year, and now they're having to come back together and pick up kind of where they left off.
With Nick Lee? Yeah. It was good. He's for those of you who watched X-Files, he was obviously a big part of that. So having one of those, there's kind of kindred spirits when it comes to X-Files. There's a lot of crew members that we have that work on the show. Obviously, Kim Manners is a big tie. So to have one from that family come over and work with us was it was cool, and there was he knew a lot of people, a lot of the crew because he'd obviously worked with them before, and but I thought I was kind of like not intimidated, but I was looking. I guess I was kind of like, ooh, is Nick here yet? Is Nick here yet? Because I was a fan of his work in the show as well, so it was cool. He was fun to work with, and I thought he did a good job playing Ness. Yeah, he's a nice guy.
What about Chad Everett?
Chad, well, I didn't get to work with Chad because he played Dean. Yeah, he said he sat down and watched. I mean, we obviously got to talk and sit down, but he actually came to the set and watched me do my scenes and just sat behind the monitors and just observed me, which is a little weird. Because it wouldn't just stop with, when they yelled cut, like he would kind of watch me walk to my chair. And it was just like picking up my walk, picking up my, and
I heard at one point go, oh my God, that's Eric Brady.
Check out the stairs. Good? He was hoping for a bigger laugh on that one. But I thought Chad did a great job and a wonderful, wonderful man. Very cool. I wish he got to come back and play around a little bit more.
And a great old school actor, great guy from the days when it was all, there was nothing done in visual effects. If he wanted to get physical, he wanted to get tired, he wanted to get, he wanted to really get into the scene and feel it. And it's nice because a lot of times we'll have people come onto the show and just out of respect, they kind of don't approach Jensen and I to work hand in hand, so to speak. Like they kind of see themselves, hopefully know nothing we do, but they're like, okay, I'm here for an episode, I'm just gonna do my job and not get in the way. Which is fine, and if that's their method, I'm not gonna change it. But we really like when people come and they wanna play and they wanna work and they wanna get gritty and dirty and add to us, because it also adds to Sam and Dean, and it's a chance for Jensen and Jared and Sam and Dean to explore new relationships and new parts of their character that they might otherwise not have had that chance.
I remember we had that recently with Kevin McNally.
Yeah.
When he came on, Frank Devereaux. He came on with such a strong
character.
Yeah, such a strong commitment to this character, and such a decisive way of playing it, that it was really refreshing for Jared and I, because he was such a force in the room, and we just kind of sat back and whoo, all right, we get to play here. It's really fun when you get moments like that with new actors.
And it was supposed to catch Sam and Dean off guard, and it caught Sam and Dean off guard, because you get in there and he's got his kind of all grizzled accent, he's kind of quirky, and he knew his stuff backwards and forwards, so
yeah.
Great to have it. Yes, you.
Hi, question for both. Over all the years, you've had some really interesting guest stars, like famous ones like Linda Blair, Dee Wallace. I've always liked Gary Cole.
Snooki.
Paris Hilton, right? Yeah. Anyway, and it's not limited to just those people, just any interesting stories you had from working with them. So I'm just gonna leave it to you, because you guys are more entertaining than I am, so go ahead.
We had Paris Hilton on the show one year, and I remember, this was kind of at the height of her kind of social status back then, and she was kind of known as being this blonde bimbo, and carried on that way, and so I just assumed that that's who she was. And when she came on set, here walks in this super pro, knew all her lines, had a completely different voice, had a different demeanor, and I was like, oh my God, she's playing a character. The Paris Hilton was a character. She's dialed in real life. And that totally threw me for a loop. And I was like, wow, okay, maybe this was all a social experiment for her. And then while we were shooting, we were doing this one thing, we were blocking out the scene, and our camera operator, Brad, he says, hey Paris, if you could just do a banana into your mark. Which, for those of you who are not actors, you can probably figure that out. What he would mean if you could just banana in. Do you know?
No.
Yeah, you just, instead of doing a straight line, you would just do a little curve.
Like a banana.
Like a banana.
All right.
And
so many other ways to say it.
And Paris looks at me and he's like, yeah, if you could just banana in, and she just looks at me and she goes, what's a banana? And I'm like, there she is. She's in there. I don't know why that just came to mind. Could you?
Well, I was just thinking about one recurring phenomenon on the show with guest stars and co-stars occasionally on the show. Now that the show's been on for a long time, we occasionally get actors on the show who are serious fans of the show. And we had an actor toward the end of last season who was on the show who had done very well in the audition. And then when me and Jared came on set, she just lost her cool. She was shaking and just so excited, and it was such an amazing mashup of actor, professional actor, and super fan on set. And she was like, oh my God. And Phil Segretia was directing, and he was like, hey guys, come here. So she was not nervous in the audition, but she is really nervous as soon as you guys walk on set. Just trying to be nice to her. And of course, We just made it worse. But yeah, that's been an interesting, occasionally, right? We occasionally see that when people come on and they're like, God, I've been watching the show since I was, 10.
Or I was on the show when I was 10.
Yeah, that's another thing, right? We have a lot
And now I'm 24 years old, and it's like, what? Like the girl that played Dean's daughter in Slice Girls was the little girl in Benders. And I remember she walks on, she's like a fully grown woman, and she's like, hi. I'm like, hey, how are you? She's like, it's good to see you again. I'm like, oh. She's like, yeah, I played Missy Bender.
Yeah.
And I had to like look it up on my phone, and there she was, this little girl, had grown up and was back on the show again. And she's probably put back on another time. I don't know, it's too many. But yeah, we get a lot of really talented people, and it's like Misha said, the show's been on so long that we get some interesting ones that either are fans or ones that are returned. That so I never say, hey, nice to meet you, because they've probably been on the show before. I just don't recognize them because they're 12 to 15 years ago.
And they probably don't recognize us.
And they probably don't recognize us either. So.
We were young,
right?
Full of promise.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you.